Hello, this is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin. Shenanigans will happen, abso-positively-lutely. And I would like to first of all thank these wonderful people for joining me this evening. They keep coming back over and over to play this ever so silly game with me, and for that I am indebted to them eternally. We're going to get back to them in a second, because first I have to say that our virtual tabletop of choice is Roll20, and our tokens and the token art were all done on Hero Forge. Technically, I don't have to say those things, but I feel better doing it. So, now here's the part I have to say because I have to say it, because there's no friggin' way I would let these people come here and play with me without telling us what else they are doing. So, let's start with Bison. When you're not playing Bickford, what are you doing?
Not a whole hell of a lot currently. The story was to get back to streaming on Monday nights, but last week I had a party and that was absolutely worth it. Had a lot of fun. But generally, yeah, I stream on my Twitch channel. I'll throw that up later once I type it out. And I've been playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is an absolute blast.
I just started Borderlands 3, so yeah, it's interesting. Thank you, and we will find out more at the end. We'll talk to you again at the end after this, after we forced you to play a character for a couple of hours. Next, Scarred Adventurer. Let's go there.
So, when I'm not here, I'm running the ScarredAdventure.com, a small website full of wonderful people that we have not been doing anything on that website for as long as I know, because I have not been talking to people about, how are you putting anything on the website? And I have not been putting anything on the website, so it's currently dead. But yes, aside from that, I'm also working on a really cool project with a bunch of really cool people called Bravely Broken. And it is a ridiculously fun thing. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the moment. We don't have anything else you can find us on. And when we do, I will let you know. But we don't have anything else right now. So just, go say hi to us there. Or don't. You know.
Next time we do
Anyways.
That presentation's great. Next time we do it, leave that last sentence off.
No, I'm keeping that last sentence. It makes the presentation.
The or don't bit.
It's, I mean, like, do it or don't. I mean, I'm not your boss.
Oh, next. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Sarah, how you doing?
Besides working on Bravely Broken, I'm also a writer at the Scarred Adventurer blog, and I also run my own YouTube channel called Tangor Productions, where at the moment, no, I have not posted anything in a long time.
I have no idea what that's like.
It's kind of like something's taken over your lives. It's weird. Last but definitely not least, Solar Dasher. How are you doing, first of all? I know you're not well, but...
I'm not 100%, but I'm at enough where I can actually be here today.
All right.
At least I can talk.
Well, then we'll get to it real quick and distract you as fast as we can.
That's all right. Let's have fun.
With that, let's do that. Let's do exactly that, because that's why we're here.
Oh, and don't forget to look us up on Discord.
Yeah, that would be nice too. Yeah, thank you.
We got a cool Discord.
There is us.
With cool people.
And it's awesome.
Yes.
And everyone's super nice.
Yeah.
Yes, I occasionally, in the last couple of days, have said sad things, but aside from that, I'm pretty good on it.
Well, that brings up one of the key points, is that we are absolutely, positively all about the mutual support. Yes, we play games, but the central purpose of that Discord is to support each other in everything and all that we do, as long as it's between consenting adults. So, with consenting adulting in mind, I'm looking
Whoa there.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not the way a lot of pornography start, but it feels like that. Like that's the subtext.
Content warning.
Well, I mean, this is three adventurers and a child that isn't a child, but never mind. Let's get started. One question before we start. River or road? I don't remember.
We decided on the river.
I thought so.
Yeah.
So what are you're in the... No, you're not in the remains of the boat. What are you in?
We're in a little... It's not a fishing boat. It's larger than a fishing boat.
It's supposed to fit 16.
Oh, right. The boat from the boat. Right. I remember now.
I was about to say dinghy too, but I
think
didn't.
Dinghy was the other
word.
One of these days I'm going to remember.
Dinghy was the fishing boat? Okay.
Yeah, the
No,
other one,
there
yeah.
was an 8-man and a 16-man.
Yeah.
8-man would have been a dinghy.
Oh, I thought we
called
said
this,
that the dinghy was the fishing boat. Never
No,
mind.
this is a panace, I think, for 16 people. I think is a boat, right?
Bad panace.
Yeah, pain in the panace. That's actually what I was very much considering calling this episode. I just want to cut to chat for a second, though. You're 3 episodes behind. Part of that is my fault. 2 of the episodes aren't on YouTube yet. One of them I finished processing this afternoon. It's going to go up after this tonight, and then the other one will go up either later tonight or tomorrow, depending on whether it gets done before I go to sleep. But yes, I am 2 episodes behind. That makes me a bad person, and I, at the moment, don't care. Let's float a boat. Row your butt. Yeah, yeah.
That really sounds like let's float a boat. Like let's roll, people.
Yes. down.
Come on, guys. Let's float a boat.
The 4 of you are on that boat,
Thank God I cleaned them properly.
heading west-southwest towards Luskin. It's going to be several days before you get there. You've all had kind of an adventurous week, I think it's fair to say. And this river not being full of ice, and this boat not being full of dragon and Zulthis remnants, is a fairly quiet place. This is a fairly safe part of the world. From what you know,
God, who has my cocoons? It's essentially what they are. I left them on the boat.
They're gone now.
They're gone now too.
Yes. Holy crap.
I love those. I love
rolling
that.
papers.
You know that once you get to Luskin, things are going to change. Luskin is a thinly disguised pirate port. It is a city of unlawfulness and bad deeds, but it is, unless you're going to smash your way through some pretty nasty ground, the only way to get to where you seem to be wanting to go, which is Waterdeep, correct? On your message or on your mission of vengeance. So, the 4 of you are floating on the boat. Tortuga, yeah. I was actually thinking Port Royal, but yeah, Tortuga works as well.
Same difference.
Yeah, but Port Royal fell into the ocean. Come on, Kevin. Game. Come on. Go. Let's do one of these. Let's do a what are you thinking moment. Let's start with Zulthis. You're in this boat floating down the river.
So while I've been here, I've had someone explain to me what Luskin is like.
Yep.
Only because I needed to know. I went. This town was called something else when I was around.
Yes, it's famous now for being a pirate stronghold.
And so knowing that, Zulthis is thinking, okay, well, we need to get to Waterdeep. We need to get a boat. The best way to get to Waterdeep would likely be via ocean.
Yes.
Fastest way to do it. And this boat can take us, maybe?
I was just going to say, thank you for getting to that question. I was just about to say, this boat will not take you safely in the ocean, even if you stay near the shore all the way down.
Okay, so we're going to need to definitely not commandeer a boat because it's pirates and we're all going to be chased down. Like pirates protect pirates. That's what I remember.
The code of pirates.
Yeah, the pirate code. Don't mess with another pirate ship unless you yourself are a pirate. And I can't just suddenly make a flag and go, ha ha, mine now! It's not going to work well that way. So, the plan is to find a ship that'll take us to Waterdeep. The second plan is to get there make sure that we don't immediately get mugged, and potentially find one of the bigger people we can. And what's the word, Zulth, I'm looking for? Oh yes, ash a cigarette in someone's eyes.
All right. Well, that's
just show that you're boss.
So you're sitting on one of these little benches in this open boat, black hand on a black face with the worms close underneath the skin. Just
at this point,
thinking horrible thoughts.
At this point, I've also put on my war face, essentially.
Oh, the
The bone white.
yeah.
The
The angry
what
eyebrows.
yeah, for angry eyebrows, he goes, right now I am very disappointed at you. Very
Oh, no.
angry.
All right. Good. We've set the tone. Bickford, floating in this boat, with everything that's happened, with what information you have at hand. What are you thinking?
Bickford is multitasking, which is weird for Bickford.
Character growth.
I know, right? Because he's trying to take care of the boat, but while he's doing the hand stuff, his mind is going.
Right.
And he's thinking, okay, who do I still know in Luskin?
Mm-hmm.
Who is likely to have possibly fenced off one of these artifacts? Because I know some jackass is going to fence off these artifacts.
Yep. Nice.
And
That's the mischievous bastard that we've grown to know and love.
and he's kind of thinking, because as much as this anger, like the story from Oedicus angered him, it's Bickford, and Bickford's a little bit like me. He cools off quickly,
Yes.
and so he's had time to think about it. And yeah, he's still pissed, but we've got more important things to worry about, and that's really weird coming from him.
Yep.
He's got a tribe to worry about. He's got, the end of the fucking world.
Yep.
2 gods are now watching his progress. That's a little bit of a, how do you say, pressure?
Yeah, and add to that, a large part of your success depends on Steve.
Yeah.
So.
If Zulthus at all heard any of that, it's just 2 gods are watching.
This is all in the mind. I'm thinking.
Yes,
So,
no, that's not happening. I'm
yeah.
just.
So you're
Just
Bickford's just rowing and thinking. I love it. Beowulf.
He could row, just
Yeah. That's what I had. Yeah, just
Good.
those huge. You got 10-foot reach. Like that's 5 feet each side. That's yeah.
yeah.
Me strong, boat small. I don't know. Every time I play Bickford, he loses about 80 IQ. I don't know why that happens.
Well, he has only got about that to begin with, so
It's the second you start sharing Bickford with Bison, it has to split 50-50, so it's like 40.
I only get half the brain. Beowulf, save
Storm
us.
King's Thunder is a very serious campaign.
Oh
folks.
yes.
Are we still paying Storm King's Thunder? I thought we abandoned that.
I
I thought we
can.
abandoned that like a long time ago.
If I have any skill at all, we will brush lightly past the plot at some point this evening. I'll tell you. I'll tell you when it happens because you won't see it. Beowulf, for the 3rd time, please save us from ourselves and our chatter.
Well, I assume he's also rowing the boat.
Yep.
Just
I figured it's
mindlessly
like-
rowing and thinking about the events that had happened inside the cave, where when he was turned to stone.
Yep.
And just trying to remember where was it that he was running away from? Why was he running? Basically, just trying to remember what happened to him so many years ago. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm thinking at like the age of 5.
Yep.
That's a young Beowulf.
Yeah.
So like 20 years ago.
Yeah, just forests and tiny flashes of villages and people, and everybody's huge because you're little and just you're sort of at that stage still, trying to
Yeah.
process and remember.
Yeah,
He's
because
Beowulf
Paul's
back
starting to
then.
slowly come back. Yeah.
Okay. Which brings us to. There's no way. The way I got this in my head is Bickford's in got one set of oars, and he's doing those 2. In front of him is Zulthus and Beowulf. They've got an oar each, leaving Oedicus free to roam, because we know better than to trust Oedicus with anything that requires a long, repetitive process and concentration. Was how I had this pegged. So, Oedicus, the rest of them are working to stay in the middle of the river. They're all pensively lost in thought. You just shared your soul with these people. Did it go as you expected?
No, no, it did not. Inicus thought doing this is just like, this is why I act this way. This is why, like, I want to protect you guys. I failed to protect you, my clan, and instead they went the wrong way.
They're off on a mission of vengeance to kill the bastard that made you all but immortal. You've got days. I can't imagine Idicus stewing about anything, but do you need time to process, or do you
He's
say
more
something?
trying to think of a plan to get us back on track.
Okay. That's fair.
No.
So yeah, you're just walking around and you look over here and somebody says no, and you look over there and somebody says no. It's a fuck.
Hey, Bickford's multitasking.
Yeah.
He's working the side quest and the main quest at the same time.
Yeah, Idicus has like his version of the map where water deep in another town is white out,
Yeah.
and he's just kind of staring at it, and just to everyone else, it looks like he's just looking at it.
Yep. So, quite possibly the quietest moment in this entire campaign so far. As you guys drift down this river. I mean, you're heading downriver. All you have to do is keep from bouncing off the banks. Idicus, it's up to Idicus. Yes, I was so happy when this happened because now it's up to Idicus to be the parent. So this is going to be
I called
fun.
him the party face
Yeah.
earlier today on Twitter. I'm like, that guy is actually kind of right.
Yep.
I think the only one no one knows how old Idicus is, including
No.
Idicus, but I think Zulfus is able to go, hey, I am thousands of years older than you, young man. Go to your room.
It's a boat.
It won't work, but
Well, Idicus would never know this. But as you say that, Zultus, you look down and one of the it's canon that they're not an all-metal warforged. There's bits of wood and scrap and all kinds of goodies in there.
very aware.
One of the things of pieces that you've taken for wood all this time, you look and it's actually fossilized. So potentially part of Idicus could be hundreds of thousands of years old.
I also pre-exist the gods. We will see how this works.
Yeah, this world didn't start 4,000 years ago either. So, what, if anything, do you want to do, all of you, in what has as close to a break as you've had?
Of the two people who can eat, I say very loudly,
Mm-hmm.
who wants something to eat?
Yeah, raw meat.
I can get it.
We probably should set up a camp for the night anyway if it's getting dark.
You could, or you could take turns. I mean, all you'd have to do, again, just run the rudder, right, just to keep the ship in the middle of the river.
You know, there are two of us that don't need to sleep.
And there's that. Yep. So,
I say, not knowing that someone's plan is to try and turn us around and not go to Waterdeep.
Morgar's Bound is in the opposite direction.
is that where? Oh, that was the.
That was the original. That's where we were going
Right.
before
So,
Bickford crashed.
yes,
the ship.
just to mention the plot. Oh, this isn't the one I planned. We're going to brush against the plot twice tonight. But to mention the plot before you went into this valley. That's right. You still need to get at least one. You only ever needed one of these giant artifacts to progress this story along. Now someone's a level ahead of you because they have taken advantage of one of them and gone off on a giant journey
can do
to
their
do
thing.
who knows what to the Ordning, because who knows who took it. But you need at least one, and the closest one is at Morgor's Mound. So technically you could go there and then straight back to the Eye of the Allfather, which is not that far away. And that would be the absolute minimum required to get back where you were asked to go. But he said, handing the plot back to the people. Do what you will. You're floating completely the other way, heading for Luskin.
I am, however, not very worried about someone trying to turn the ship around and go the other direction.
Yes.
Only because streams go in one way.
Yes, rowing upstream is a bugger. Yes.
And doing it by yourself while everyone's asleep.
No, that's not happening. Yeah. Keeping a ship going down water works. Going up river by yourself, not unless it's a little boat.
So, Zulthus will essentially just walk off the boat and on the water, because now he can do the surface level.
Oh yeah.
He's just going to walk walk a little bit in front of the boat.
Yep.
And start looking for fish he can easily grab, leaving no ripples where he walks.
Nope, none whatsoever. Give me an acrobatics to grab a fish. No. I do not doubt Zulthus' ability to grab a simple fish.
Do you want 4 attacks to grab a fish?
No, what I want is 4 intelligence checks to allow for the refraction of water. I'm putting science in here. Ha! It's not about speed or striking force or anything else. It's about knowing that the light bends and you actually have to strike at a different spot than where the fish currently is.
Okay, so I will...
So roll 4 intelligence checks. All of them that get past my DC, you'll get an attack for each one.
Nope.
One of those. Yeah.
One of them. Okay.
One of them. Yeah, there was 10. It was a simple intelligence check. But yes.
I have -1, dude.
So yes,
No.
you can attack one fish. I
Bigfoot's
didn't know that. I
smarter
don't look
than
at your
you?
sheets. 9 bludgeoning
fish.
damage. Yeah, you just grab a fish by the tail and just bonk on a rock, and it does that electric fish thing.
Could I just... I know it says bludgeoning, but just for once, because Vampiric Bite does the same level for everything.
Yes.
Just one tendril opens up from the chest
Okay.
and shoots into the water
Yes. And it
and
comes up.
pulls it back. A little tiny hook has now managed to work itself onto the...
Yep. I'm good to touch the button. Don't get me started. Don't give me an excuse. You pull a very large salmon-like fish out of the water. Plenty to eat for the 2 that eat.
All right. Who wants it raw and who wants it cooked? Cooking is just like surgery, or so I think.
Bickford's just slowly chewing on a sausage. Beowulf, it's all yours.
Sure, just hand it on over.
Good thing it's already dead. I throw it in Beowulf's direction.
Yep.
All right, I am gonna catch it
Yep.
and scale it and then eat it.
All right. So you guys settle down to a meal, Bickford and Beowulf.
I'm going to go and stand back onto the ship.
Yeah.
Hopefully get to the rudder, unless Iticus has already been there.
No, I'll give you the rudder. You're going to head back there. What is your plan? Stay in the middle of the river, or... Because nobody's rowing now. Everybody's eating.
Just stay in the middle of the river. There's no need to go...
Yep. No
to the
need to
banks
speed
at
up
this
or
point?
go or do any of that stuff. Yes,
No,
absolutely.
I mean, we're following the way the river goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Which will bring us to Luskin.
Yep, just keep from bouncing off the walls. So that's easy.
Yep.
Iticus, where are you on the boat?
Probably somewhere in the middle.
Okay. So where they just were kind of all rowing, now that they're separated to eat, you kind of pop into that area. Okay. So in that case, those 2 are eating. Let's do Iticus and Zulthus. Give me a perception check. First rolls of the game. It's only been half an hour.
Can we take my passive
No, not.
perception?
I
do
we'll
completely-
see. What was it? Roll your perception first,
Okay.
and then we'll see if we have to fudge that.
My
I don't.
much better.
No. What's your passive? Iticus?
10.
10. Okay, never mind then. So you don't see squat.
19.
My passive is 18.
Yes.
That's why I asked.
So, Zulthus, you get up there and spin around and grab the rudder and start looking. It makes sense. You're looking downriver, looking for shoals and rocks and pirates and who knows what, because you know what you're heading into. This is a bad area. What you see in front of you is there's a row of 3 white rocks on one side of the river and 3 white rocks on the other side of the river. They've been painted.
How far is Luskin away from those 3 red rocks on the
You're
river?
still. It's just about to go evening, and it'll be tomorrow. You're 24 hours away ish, if you stay in the boat all the time, the whole time, and float. If you paddle, you
Yeah.
can get there faster. I'll move you
Zulthus
slightly on the map here, actually.
is going to gently walk over to everyone and say, "Get down. Do not be an eyeline. Just pretend we are a boat that is going down the river completely on its own. I will hold on to the rudder to make sure we do not move,
Yep.
but do not let anyone know you are here. Do not breathe. Do not do anything that would alert someone that they can see you." And he looks directly at the two people who can breathe when he says, "Don't breathe." Hold your breath for like 10 seconds.
He curls into a ball, and you can't really tell if he's breathing or not.
Wrapped
Excellent.
around his salmon.
Bickford,
Yeah, he just looks like a black ball on the ship.
Yeah.
Bickford is going to convey the blessing of the trickster to Beowulf.
Okay.
So he gets advantage on stealth.
That's
Thank goodness.
excellent. All right.
And he himself
1 hour.
is... Fuck it, this smells like an ambush. He's going to cast invisibility on himself.
Okay. Good. Scratch off them spell slots.
Kabam.
All right.
Like, hell yeah, it's an ambush. Clearly it's an ambush, but if they don't see us there, maybe they won't ambush. Or they'll come onto the boat and we can intimidate them off of it.
As you
Right.
as you finish your explanation, Zultus, and before you turn around and head back up to the rear of the ship, it's only a couple steps, but still. All of you, give me a perception check as you turn to look down the river into the absolutely for certain, positively ambush. Wow, that was.
Can I use my passive?
That was almost great, and yes, this time you can, and there. So, Zulthus with your passive, and Bickford with your roll. You guys see, just beyond the white rocks, a rapids starts in the river.
I take it back. Everyone hold on.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's worse.
Yeah, you look. The sides are. I mean, they're getting steeper and narrower, so you might be able to get to the side and get out, but you're very, very close to the point of no return of riding this out.
Let's try to not crash this one, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the
well-
last one.
I came in.
Not my fault.
Look, yes, no, I know not your fault, but someone opened some things, and yes, I opened one of the things, but I was doing it because someone opened it. Let's just go.
Yes. So,
Fine.
who's on the oars? Who's on the rudder? Who's doing anything else? Rudder? We know, Zultus, you were heading that direction, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna army crawl. Now I'm running.
Okay.
Yeah, Bickford's going to grab one of the oars. He's going to go to the oars to one side to try and help Zulthus steer more towards the shoreline,
Okay. So left or right?
whichever way Zulthus is going.
I thought we were gonna ride it out.
I thought we were
Oh,
gonna ride it
fuck
out.
no. Not in a 16-foot boat. Are you nuts? This isn't a
We're gonna
Zodiac.
do our best.
This
So,
isn't a kayak. We all going to die.
so you start to argue. Next. Beowulf, you're curled up in a ball around your salmon when suddenly somebody says, "We're running this rapids." What do you do?
He's gonna get up. He's gonna get one of the oars and try to help steer the boat away from any possible harm or danger.
Okay. All right. Idicus, what are you doing?
Iticus has no clue what this means, so he's gonna go to the front of the boat and look at it.
Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Right up to the front. This is it's a
There's
16-foot
just a
boat, so it's
quick-
got a
there's a
bit of a prow, right?
That exact thing I just did is exactly what Zulth is
You
doing
just-
when he sees Idicus move that way.
Yeah. Idicus, you go right up to the front, and the boat's starting to get kind of bumpy, rocky, shaky. And I don't know if goblins, at least you, have a lot of experience in boats, but this is getting all bumpy. So you just grab right at the front, the prow of the boat where it comes up. You just kind of hanging out of that
Yep.
and looking around it. Kind of the reverse. I'm the king of the world thing.
Yeah.
Staring at the river, and you see the river goes all fluffy and white ahead of you. And Idicus, In the sun, it's all sparkles. The whole rapids.
He's going. Sorry, y'all.
Nope.
He's going to put his hand, just like, and you'll just hear shiny as he like kind of tries to reach for it.
I still wrapped around the front of the boat, just trying to touch it. Yes, you feel the drops just tinkle, tinkle, tinkle on your hand, the shiny on your fingertips, and then all hell breaks loose.
Oh dear.
Edicus is Edicus. That's all that instruction says. Everything else says where everybody is. So, starting at the back of the boat, Zulthus, the front of the boat drops. You see Edicus fly for a second. The only reason they're still on the boat is because they were holding on to the prow. Their little feet come up, whee, and then back
There's a
down.
picture.
Sorry?
I said, there's a picture.
Yeah.
Someone tie down Idicus.
Boom, the front drops. Tell me what you would like to roll for your ship piloting skill.
Oh, for my ship.
Convince me.
My go-to for that is always sleight of hand. When I have to pilot a ship,
Yes.
because
I
without
like
making
that.
it look like I'm doing something,
Yep, that's
I have
fair
to
enough.
manage
Yeah.
to steer the ship in such a way.
And that translates well into this sort of figuring out the tiny hand movements and the not so tiny hand movements that are going to involve steering their ship. So yeah, give me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stay.
23.
You stay in the middle of the channel, and have control of the boat entirely. For this round, you don't have no. You look down and it just keeps going off into the mist. Because you're actually at the oars, Beowulf, there's 2 oars to the left and 2 oars to the right. What do? Which one have you grabbed?
Does the boat seem like it's going in any one direction that we don't want it to, or is it staying straight?
Right now, it's this is the reason I did this in this order. Right now, it's staying in the middle. The oars are just sort of flapping in their oarlocks.
He's gonna grab one of each and just stabilize them, but he's not gonna actually move the boat in either one of the directions at the moment.
Yep. So, in this case, you don't have to do anything, but if you do try and steer the boat, in other words, the way this is working so far, I want to stack this. This is working nicely. So, mechanically speaking, if Zulthus blows a roll and the boat starts to shift, you will then get a strength roll to try and just dig in one of those oars to correct it.
Mm-hmm.
Bigford. Nobody's listening. You're over the edge. Boom, into the plume. What do?
Oh, good God. What does he do? Well, his back is going to be to the prow.
Yep.
So he's not going to see that right away.
Nope.
So what Beowulf sees, because he's still invisible,
Yep.
is,
Yeah, nobody knows what you are. Nobody knows if you're even
is an
still on this
oar
boat.
flying up in the air. You hear "oh shit" in Goblin about 8 times, and then coming back and there's a thump because he almost went over the side. Seeing that
Keep us up and I'll learn Goblin, mate.
he's going to go up to the a little bit closer and try and kind of look out for rocks,
Okay.
essentially. And if he sees or tries to, like, basically bark back to Zulthus using
Yep.
message, so he doesn't. Actually, yeah, it's not concentration. I can still cast it.
And you've got one oar out to sort of deflect. Is that the idea?
A little bit, yeah. Just in case.
Okay. Excellent. So that'll be
Yeah.
a
So
strength.
he's gonna.
That'll come
so-
down to a strength roll. So
Yeah.
it'll go Zulthus, and then the 2 of you try and save it. If Zulthus messes up, if all 3 of you messes up, we come to the hero of the moment. Idicus, what is your plan?
Fight it out.
The sparklies are getting to your eyelashes and eyebrows now. They're on your little metal nose. They're cold. The sparklies are very cold. The shinies are very chilly. And every once in a while, the shinies come in and wash over your feet in a very cold, watery way. Then they're not so shiny when they're in the bottom of the boat. But riding it out is an absolutely, positively amazing acrobatic roll kind of thing that we're going to do.
Yep.
No matter what happens behind you, you're going to make that every round. So, now that we have determined what we're doing, the second round, Zulthus, you got this. You absolutely got this. Give me another roll.
23.
23. You are staying in the middle of the channel.
I've technically rolled 3 23s.
You did. That's too many.
I'm going to screw up next time.
You've been boringly good.
One of us is gonna get it.
Yeah. Well, at that moment, Beowulf and Bickford, you guys are doing your thing. Beowulf, you see a rock. The ship is kind of tipping to one side as it goes down this little chute. It'll probably be okay off to your left, but it could be a threat. Do you want to do something about it, or are you just going to ride this out?
He's gonna make sure that we miss it.
Okay. So give me a strength check. Oof. You almost lose the oar. It's just when the water hits it. You have no noticeable effect. You do miss this rock ever so slightly, but not by much. Bickford, up at the front, it's tossing and flashing, well, near the front. Idicus is in front of you, flapping like a flag in the wind at this particular moment. Yeah, let's give you that and an upcoming rock on the right-hand side.
All right.
I like bad choices. What would you like to do?
I could try to keep Idicus down.
Yep.
Or I could try to avoid the
down,
rock.
boy. Tie your Idicus down.
He's gonna push for the rock.
Oh, he did it.
Try.
The needs of the many. The needs of the many. He did it. He did the Spock
That way
logic.
the needs of the feud.
Or in this case,
Feudicus.
the one. Yeah. Besides, Idicus can't drown. So 17. Yeah, you're heading right for it, and you lean into it, and it does that thing when you're shoveling snow and you find ice underneath, and you're doing the running shovel, and it kind of comes back on your chest, and you're whoa, but your body mass just keeps it moving forward, and you kind of this thing around and get the ship off of it and continuing down the creek.
Two people in this party have no idea what we're talking about.
Idicus. Fun. Flappy fun, but it's getting really slippery. Sleight of hand or acrobatics to stick on this boat? What do you think?
Sleight of hand is a little better for
Well,
him.
then you should probably do that. Then, yep. Try and do something fancy.
30.
Okay. All right, then. You want to roll a 30? Tell me how that plays out. The boat just drops away from you. It just, because it comes up to a point, right? And it just goes, thump, and you're just holding on to nothing. What happens?
Bickford will kind of see him like slightly begin to freak out, and then he goes, nope, and he just he just grabs on.
Idicus rolled a 30, Sarah rolled a 1.
He just grabs back on like he knows what he's doing.
Just comes back up, and you just punk right on the top of it. Like, yeah. Dig a little tighter.
I can see.
Maybe stop reaching out for the sparkly. Yeah, maybe use both hands
just
now.
Full like
All four
airtime.
claws. Just Oh yeah. Like the boat falls out from underneath the sprawling Idicus, and then poof, as it comes up again, and Idicus comes down. There's a meeting of the brilliants at 30 sleight of hand later. And Idicus is riding the ship like a prow.
During that brief airtime, I'm imagining just a song of "I Believe I Can Fly."
Yeah, just do all the famous songs in this one. Yeah, Wile E. Coyote style, exactly. Hanging in midair, just long enough for Wile E. to go, yipe, with the sign. Back to the back of the boat. You're still in the middle of this. You still cannot see the end. Roll to drive this boat. Sleight of hand.
13.
It's the boat twists under you and actually pulls the rudder out of your hand for a moment. You grab it back, but the boat is twisting sideways. Beowulf, attempt to straighten it out.
Yep.
So,
Zulthus
ooh,
at that exact same time is also putting both feet on one side
yeah,
of a wall,
getting ready to
desperately.
to double correct for next time. Absolutely. Beowulf, you use you still got one oar in each hand, and you kind of and again you stab. This time you hit the rock, but it just kind of drives it back in your hand and takes a. It has no effect. You're still starting to turn sideways in the boat. In the worst place to recover from this spot in a boat in a rapids, up near the front, Bickford, with an oar in your hand. Are you standing on your knees, sitting? What are you? What's the?
He's big enough that he can kind of brace one leg on either side of the hull of the boat.
This that close to the front? Yeah, Atticus is more or less right in front of you. So yeah, sure.
Pretty much. And Bickford's 7'9". He's got a long frame.
Yeah.
So he's about probably, I would say, almost 2 meters back from Iticus,
Sure.
and he's able to still see and everything because
Yeah.
he's
And
fucking
you
huge.
just watch Atticus go foop, foop, like he was never gone. Except maybe he's holding on a little tighter. So Atticus appears to be safe this round. The boat is turning sideways. If this keeps going and you hit something, it is going to roll.
All right, he's going to jam his oar in to try and correct.
Yep. Athletics. And from now on, Beowulf, I should have said this. That should have been athletics. Are you? It wouldn't have made a difference. 15 was kind of the level.
I am using my inspiration.
Okay.
Actually, athletics I would have had an advantage on that one.
The gods
That's
disagreed
okay.
with that.
We'll let you save that. Yes, the gods disagree with the 4. You use your inspiration. And this time you know it's coming. You brace for it and use your rib cage like an anchor. This time just and let the weight of the ship just rotate around you, using you as a pivot.
I'm so glad I'm wearing armor.
It's
gonna hurt.
Well, yeah, you can hear that sound. Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
the oar tension building up against the steel. And finally,
Leather.
the leather, the oar
Yeah.
shatters. You can grab another one, but it explodes in your hands. But as it does, you come back to straightforward. You don't get credit for that run. You didn't get advanced, but you did not flip, just barely. Iticus! Everything's fine. Ship's pointed back downstream again. It was kind of sideways there for a minute, but everything's fine. What do you do?
I'm still just.
Just whee!
I'm gonna keep having fun here.
Absolutely. Give me another acrobatics, please.
Okay. 23.
23. Yeah, you are dancing on the front of this ship. This is like joy. You're catching shinies, but every time you catch one, you open your hand and it's just water.
This is fine.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you just
I'm gonna keep trying.
yeah, just
just gonna keep
shiny. There's shinies on your eyelashes. When you close your eyes, kind of most of the way, you can see shinies on all the lashes, because you have little metal lashes because you're a warforged. Yeah. But yeah, you can see it on the tip of your nose. It's great fun. It's also very cold. Back to the top, smashing through the rapids. Zulthus, steering the boat.
Oh,
Yep.
thank the gods.
Steering the boat just fine. Beowulf. What do you do? Everything seems to be stable right now. Iticus is surfing at the front of the boat. Zulthus seems to have this piloting more or less figured out.
And
I'm just
oar
gonna try and-
explodes in midair.
I'm gonna freak out
Quick,
a little
wood
bit
shrapnel.
about that.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna freak out a little bit about the oar exploding. Then I
Yeah.
try and hand one of the oars over to the area where he saw the explosion happen.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right,
at
because
this
you
point,
can't see.
Bickford-
Yeah, this oar just exploded in space.
But
so,
there
well,
would be
yeah,
a
good point.
Bickford-shaped puddle.
Yes, there would
on
also
where
be
he's standing.
there would also be like rain pouring off of a Bickford-shaped space, or not rain but mist. So yes, absolutely, you could tell it was him. I like that, and thank you very much for not metagaming that. I'd completely forgotten again. But yes, you hand it to an invisible but rain-soaked Bickford. So that means Bickford's got one for now. Bickford, what do you do? The ship appears to be okay.
Looking out for rocks ahead, and if he sees anything, he's going to call back to Zulthus. to
Back
let him
on
know.
patrol. Gotcha. All right.
Oh yeah, I totally smell like a wet bear.
Yeah.
You know what a sweat bear smells like, right?
Yes, I do.
Your final moments.
Yeah.
Piss soaked jeans.
Yeah. Oh, Zoltus, you can see the end of the rapids ahead of you now, coming out of the mist. One more sleight of hand will get you there, you think.
Nope.
However, you once again, perhaps overconfident in your skills, lose control. This time the boat slithers the other way. It turns to...
Oh no,
starts-
not even overconfident. Just I sneezed the first
Yeah,
time
just-
in
yeah.
years.
Yes. And you slip this time to you turn to starboard very sharply. Beowulf,
Let's fix this.
you jam forward with a thing. Yeah, 17. You slam another oar into a rock. This one does not break, but it you can feel the tension, and you use it to push yourself clear as the boat scrapes down the side of the rock, ripping off a bunch of the paint on the outside. But you are straight again. Bigford.
What do I see?
You
We're
can see
almost
the
out.
end. You can see the end of the rapids coming. Yes. With the correction, the boat is now. It was turning this way. Now it's knocked back straight again. So you're straight and level right now.
Okay.
One successful roll from the end, which means potentially
Yeah.
this rapids could just keep getting longer.
He's going to, I guess, try to assist to try and get us out, get that last little bit.
Okay, so you give advantage. Yeah, you use the help action and
Yes.
give advantage. Perfect. Idicus, it looks like the ride's coming to an end. If there was ever time for a big finish.
He's going to. I'm sorry, Scarred got me. He's going to actually like try and reach into the water
Okay.
at this point because he's like,
Yeah.
okay, it's slowing down. Maybe I can get a shiny.
Okay. Wow.
So he's
okay.
going to.
You take one hand off and drive a hand into the water. Roll. No.
How big are fish compared to Idicus?
Oh, as some are even bigger, but this is way more fun. Idicus, you almost actually. Give me your roll. And I have to make your roll for this. And now that I thought of it, I want you to succeed really, really big time. So give me a. No, again, I just took this away. I'm going to take it away again because pure shit luck is not a roll. Being Idicus is not a roll. That's a state of being. The boat drops into a hole in the water, which have like the waves are going over the rocks. They make these areas, and it just drops into the hole. And as your hand goes down, you almost fall off the boat. You got one arm and one leg on it, and as the water clears, you can see a shiny to end all shinies in the bottom in there down in the rocks, and you reach in and grab it and pull. Now I need a roll. I need a sleight of hand for this for sure. This makes if ever there was a sleight of hand. Yeah, the
19?
boat starts to pull you back up, and it's like it doesn't want to come, and you can, and at the last second, pop, it comes.
I'm really
loose.
hoping this is a sword that gets stolen from a lady.
And you come whistling back up. The ship just lifts you up and all but throws you back onto the boat, and you kind of grab to the front again. You're still a short distance away from the end, and you can just kind of look out of the corner of your eye, and you see a shiny, clear, like it's made out of ice, but it's not cold, dagger. The handle, the pommel, the blade, it's all looks like it's made out of diamonds.
Okay. It's Beowulf who uses more of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So he would like he would take what he found and then like run back to Beowulf and give it to him.
So the boat's still pounding down the rapids, and you're just like, and hand the dagger to Beowulf, a crystal dagger. Okay. I love it. With that, Beowulf, I don't know if you were listening to that. In the middle of this, Beowulf plucked a crystal dagger out of the bed of the river. Don't ask me how. They rolled really well.
Iticus did it.
Not
Sorry,
Beowulf. And then they came over and gave Beowulf the dagger that they had found. It's a crystal dagger. Entirely crystal. You're muted at the moment, but entirely crystal. Handle, pommel, and blade. So, yeah. In the middle of the boat still hanging and thrashing, you're trying to keep the boat from running into the sides, and Iticus is standing in front of you with this all-diamond sword, or dagger, holding it up to you. And then it looks like a short sword.
You will look down at Iticus and say, hold on to it for a few more minutes until we're out of this rapids, and then you can give it to me.
And I'll head back up to the front to go try again.
Just water pouring over the gunnels and water pouring out the scuppers, and just the boat is. I mean, you're making it, but you're going down rapids in a boat that's not designed to go down rapids, and Iticus is just like doing the 100 years bit of pirate walk down there, like totally flat and narrow, right straight down the middle. Right back
I feel
to
like
the front.
with the wobbling, it's almost the Pirates 1 kind of walk from you know, that actor.
Yes, that actor. Yes. And then you get to the front and just lackadaisically wrap one arm around the thing again. Like, I'm kind of holding on, but, yeah.
Pickford watching this happen, invisible.
Yeah, you just walk past you and walk past you again. So, once more, unto the breach for our piloteer at the back. That's you.
Ship Junior.
I know.
The ship junior. Wrong game. Oh, once again.
Advantage
sideways.
with 12.
Oh, that's right. We had
Advantage of
advantage.
12,
It's still
yeah.
only a 12. Nope. Spinning sideways in the water again. You're starting to rotate this time. You're caught in a vortex.
Oh, no.
Beowulf and Bickford. I'll give you the opportunity to act at the same time. This ship is starting to get sucked down into a vortex.
Definitely trying to get us out of there.
Scotty, give us all you've got. The dilithium crystals are overheating, Captain. I cannot give you no more.
I'm doing the best
I'm sorry,
I can,
Captain.
mate.
It turns out I actually can't give you more. I've only been putting in up about 2/3.
Yeah.
And Captain, actually, no, Captain, I'm wrong. There is an entire other lever here. I haven't touched. The ship can literally go 3 times as fast.
Where the fuck did this control panel come from?
Captain, unfortunately, we don't have the dilithium crystals to do this properly. I've lost all credibility, haven't I?
Anywho,
And I was thinking, damn it, Jim, I'm an engineer, not a doctor.
Damn it, Jim, I'm a wolf, not a
Reverse
doctor.
that, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Dang it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a...
Engineer.
Boat
I'm at the
person.
wrong station. Fuck. Anyway, back on this. Let's do this for a while. I mean, that was funny, but let's do this. I'm starting to sweat. Whew. Okay. On the boat. Yes. I was spinning in circles. What are the two of you doing?
Well, with my athletics check, I'm trying to make it stop spinning.
Okay. So you the 17. That's a good roll. What are you up to, Bickford?
that's not gonna work. Bickford's also gonna try and get us out.
All right. Give us 16. Yeah. You guys counter spin, and you just the ship starts to lift and lift and lift, and it just pops over the edge and starts to slide and heads on over the last little rock and out into the flats. As it does so, Iticus gets the final motion in this act. As you come over the last little rock, it's like seeing the end of the water slide coming, right? I mean, it's just whoosh, and you're just in a boat floating again.
He's gonna walk back to Beowulf and get attacked.
I really wanted the thoughts in Iticus's head to be, none of this would have been possible without me.
No, that's not Iticus. Nope.
No, I know. I just... Man, did I save the day once again.
All right. So, Bickford, how long are you continuing to be invisible, standing in the rain? 10 minutes total? If you
He's
want.
still got 50 minutes left.
50
I
minutes
think
is an hour? Wow.
I think it's an hour long, yeah.
Wow.
At this point, he's going to realize. Actually, no, that's the wrong spell I was thinking of. Anywho, he's going to drop invisibility.
Yeah.
And kind of like flop to the floor. Just be like, I'm getting too old for this shit. As he's rubbing his arms because they hurt like a bitch at this
Yep.
point.
You got a broken oar, a couple damaged oars. There's a big scratch down one side of the boat. It's not structural, but this thing's beaten up now.
After a bit, he's like, "Does that make us sailors now?"
Yes, it does. You survived a rapids.
Yeah,
To God,
this
I want to
splat.
give up this
Damn.
life. This life. I want to give up this life.
Zulthus has to lighten up. He has to learn how to lighten up.
Zulthus says as he is trying to light a wet cigarette.
Yep, fair enough. As you are doing so, and you move into the calm again, slightly closer to the city, you now at least know what white rocks on each side of the cavern or chasm mean.
Yep.
You're starting to see more farmland to the north, or to the south in particular, but there's a bit to the north, but it gets icy pretty fast. You see a main road to the north, and beyond that, there's all but nothing. To the south, there's a fair band of farmland and then the forest. There's something about it. It's too dark. It's not just a thick forest. It's one of those ones that's got a name like Darkwood or something. But in this case, it's the Neverwinter Wood. But there's just something about it that's not good.
This is a small request. At the end of this episode, may we please sing some or at least can I sing a bit of a sea shanty? Because our lovely comments said, can we sing sea shanty?
You, of course you
Which is a
can.
really
Yes,
difficult word to say at
yes,
this
yes.
point.
Absolutely. In fact, if you
I
have one,
will
sing
not be
one
able to
now.
make one up at the
It will
moment.
not be.
Oh.
Okay.
There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was the Billy of Tea. The winds blew up her bow, tip down, oh blow, my bully boys blow. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She'd not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. More available upon request.
That. Thank you. First of all, chat. Your bluff has been called. There it is. If I were chat, if it were possible, I might even be tempted to make a donation for that sort of thing. That was pretty amazing. I have never asked for a donation on this channel before in my life. I'm not doing it on my behalf. I'm doing it on his. But
I did it because someone who makes
somebody
the
asked.
donation.
Yes, they asked. That's fair enough. That is bought and paid for. Yeah, that's fair
Yeah.
enough. Yeah, I just saw who asked. Yeah. With that, thank
And
you.
they paid for
There
it
you
again.
go.
They paid for it again. Thank you. That's wonderful.
Yay.
End of the episode.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Now I feel guilty. Anyway, let's get back to this. That comes out of the locket. Who's wearing the locket at the moment?
Iticus is.
That song comes out of the locket as the boat floats down the river.
There's an old whaling song from when I was still alive. Hope you like it, Iticus. And it falls back into the locket. That's it.
Yes, there we go. And you float forward down the river. We're going to fast forward time a little bit. No, we don't. It's already evening. It is night, It is all but dark out here by the time this river run is done. You didn't really notice in the mist and the fog and the fear. But now that you're back on the smooth part of the river again, you can see the shadows of the trees are all completely covering the river. The bugs are coming out, the birds that feed on the bugs, the lizards that feed on the birds that feed on the bugs. They're all coming out.
There's also a frog on a log at the bottom, from a hole at the bottom of the sea.
There is, yes. Those are all, they're being eaten by tiny alligator shrimp on the side, yes. Yes, everything you can imagine. This is a flat plain that this goes through, and it's being used to irrigate the area around it, but it's still a wild river. Who's sleeping? Who's driving the boat all night? We
Beowulf
got
is
two
gonna take-
sleepers, right? Beowulf
No.
and Bickford. Sleepers, like it's sleepers.
Sleep
Ah.
eaters.
Can't stay awake all night, loser. Yeah.
Yeah, Bickford's gonna get, a bit of sleep. He's gonna try and wake up before dawn, so he
Okay.
can do something.
So yeah, you can get 8 hours before dawn, easy. Beowulf, you just finish your salmon and crash out.
He's gonna finish the salmon, toss the bones overboard, and yeah, pretty much crash out after making sure that the shiny object that Idicus gave him is safely put away.
Okay. You're gonna spend half an hour attuning yourself to said shiny object.
Yep.
Okay. You sort of sit there and, oh yeah, in the setting sun, this would be stunning. I mean, imagine a dagger entirely clear, entirely transparent. The handle, the blade, and the pommel are all made of a material like diamonds. And in the setting sun, you're moving it around, and it's just prisming rainbows everywhere. And
Hey,
you start to move it around, and first it's like, oh wow, I can see my hand through it, and then you can't. And you realize it's not that you can't see through it, it's that you can now see through your hand. And it starts to move up your arm, and you kind of blink, and you turn invisible.
oh whoa.
Once per short rest, this dagger allows you to go invisible. It
Whoa.
must be being held, like it has to be equipped. It takes one hand. So, that's what you got. Bickford, we're going to get back to you because you're going to have a dream in a minute. Idicus and Zulthus. Who's piloting the boat all night
Hmm.
in the dark, alone?
Me.
So I guess the real question should be, Idicus, what are you doing all night in the dark, alone, on a ship, small boat?
He'll probably be just sitting up with Solthus and keeping him company.
Up at the back, okay. Over the course of the night to the north, up in that ice field, you see the occasional flash of fire. You hear the occasional thump and bang that sounds like thunder, but you know it isn't. It's a dragon and an ultra giant smashing their way through more of the landscape. Probably having, at least on the dragon's part, the time of their life. But that battle is still going on. To the south, in the distance in the forest, you can see flickering lights. Just simple little lights moving in and out of the edge of the forest, seemingly with no pattern. As you continue to drift down, the stars become more and more apparent as it gets darker and darker. You can see the Milky Way. You can see all the different than ours, but different people have attached different pictures to the sky. But you can see them. Some of them you know, some of them you don't. Some of them you make your own. But it's ultimately peaceful and floaty. Until Bickford screams. Bickford! Now I gotta make you scream. This should be fun. You're exhausted. It's been days since you've had like a safe place to sleep. So you go down hard. The dreams start almost immediately. Like it's a question as to whether the dream started before the sleep. It's that fast. You were doing both of them before your head hit the deck of the boat that you're going to be using as a pillow. And the first part's really nice because it's your village again. But it's your village in the future, not back then when you were just farting around, and not now spread over who knows where. But in the future when they're all back together. Steve's the mayor and you're the hero. And then the giants come. The undead giants. And as good as you are, you can't stop them alone. And it all happens again. They get chased out again. You couldn't stop it. And you hear, as they flee this time, you hear Idicus's voice. I couldn't save them. I couldn't save them. I couldn't save them. In the dream, what do you try and do?
I think the first thing he would do is he would grab Morning Skull, because it would be right there.
Oh yes, it's a dream. It's there.
It's always, yeah, that's how dreams work.
Yep.
And he would try to get everybody to run.
Okay. So
And
you're just
he just get going, and he would try to get in the way, because
And
that's
that-
what the heroes do.
that thing happens, that scene happens where everybody's running the wrong way. Everywhere you turn, you stop them, you say, go that way, run. You turn around, they're going the wrong way, go that way, run. You turn around, the ones that you already directed are coming back, everybody's going the wrong way, they're all going to get killed. It's just getting worse and worse. And the giants are getting closer and closer. They tear your childhood home apart. One kick. Shrapnel everywhere. There was a lot of historically important stuff in there. What do you do? What do you try to do?
He'd look and he'd try to find someone that's about to get attacked, like, because it's what happens. You
They're
assess
everywhere.
the situation.
They are boiling out of the trees. They're almost as tall as the trees.
And yeah, he'd try to he would do his very best to carve a path, to
Okay.
try and give some opening for his people.
You charge forward and give a mighty swing to try and, if not kill them, at least chase them off. Something, anything. It's better than just standing here and dying. You swing, and as you do, it's a dream. You don't miss. You're just suddenly in a different place. You're on the ship. You're on the Clifford, running down that rapids as the boat was falling apart around you and the ice was tearing out the sides. And this time Idicus doesn't save you. The arrow misses, and you get dragged off the side into the icy cold waters. As you hit the water, you start to fight underwater against this thing. Your breath catching, you can't breathe. You know you can't breathe. If you breathe, you will breathe water and you will die. And you fight the fish, and you fight it and fight it and fight it, and you break the surface and take a huge breath, and you're back in your village. Back where you were. The giants are still there. They've moved forward. There's no bodies yet, but they're getting awfully close.
Again, he'd draw from that blessing he got from Pelor,
Yep.
and get that smite.
Yep.
And the way I see the smite is the shadow that pours out of Morning Skull's eyes
Yep.
when Bickford uses it turns into two blazing beams of light,
Yes.
and then he goes and strikes again at one of the giants. It's like, you're not taking my home again.
And you step forward, and with a crushing impact, you catch them just above the knee, and you feel the bone shatter. And the leg just collapses, and that particular giant falls to the ground in front of you, pain in their eyes. Another one looks at you and says, "Oh, okay," and crushes Steve with a stomp. There is no chance that he is still alive. With his death
Rage.
dies the dream. Without Steve, none of this can work. You said rage. Does that include a scream?
It's a scream of anger, scream of pain. Yeah, that would be the scream.
Back up awake on the deck of the ship. You wanted to wake up just before dawn. Let's do that. It's just before dawn.
He's in a cold sweat. His eyes are still wild from the nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And looks down, fumbles through his pack for the idol of Grancool, and sets it down. And he knows that Zulthus and Idicus are watching.
Yeah.
He's well aware. And just out loud, he's like, "We have to turn around. We have to go to Morger's Mound. We need to stop this, or everyone I know is dead." And he's dead serious.
Just before the sun comes up, at that particular moment, Beowulf, I'm assuming you're stirred from your sleep by this yell as well. It's a small boat.
Right.
I was talking about the stars before, and you look up, and as they start to fade, there's some that weren't there before, and they're not fading. So as that false dawn, that pale light starts to climb the eastern sky, there's stars that just won't go away. There's 4 groups, 4 constellations, if you will. Each of them are infinitely recognizable. Going in the northern sky, you find by a lack of stars, rather than by any stars, a tall bipedal form. To the east, another tall bipedal form, but this one made of stars and constellations and galaxies and fuzzy and sticky outy all over the place and kind of awkward looking. To the south, the head of a wolf, clearly outlined by galaxies. And in the last direction to the west, a tiny figure, and 1 or 2 of the stars in it flicker and make it look like it's there, and then it's not there, and then it's there, and it's not there. And they only fade once the sun cracks the horizon. The 4 of you know that something much, much bigger is afoot. The sun rises, and you see in the distance, it looks like a hand sticking up out of above the horizon. A giant black hand. And you see from one of the fingers a bolt of electricity goes down to some point beyond the horizon, beyond even the tower itself that it now becomes clear that it is. Apparently, you're getting fairly close to Luskan. Anything you'd like to do?
Bickford was actually going to kind of do a little cleric thing, but his mind is elsewhere at this point.
Okay.
He uses the Eye of Grancool, the ability that the idol gives him.
Yeah.
Just throw it in there. And he's looking for Steve.
Okay. You concentrate, and it's like learning a new UI, because everything now goes through this filter of Pelor before it gets to Grancool.
Mm-hmm.
But you get through the 2 of them, and you start to concentrate. 2 of them, I think you've only done it twice, have turned around and are coming back. You remember you were told every time you heal someone other than yourself, one of the members of the tribe will return. You've only done 2 since then.
Mm-hmm.
Steve is being himself, but he's doing his thing. He's on plan, he's on task so far. He's very definitely alive.
Yeah, that was what he was concerned about.
Yep.
He was worried it was an omen.
Yep.
Um,
You've given him his mission, right? Like you actually had a conversation with Steve. Yeah, he's Steve. He's off doing that. He is, like I said, he is on task. Amazing for who he is, but he is on task.
Yeah, it's not like Steve to get his hands dirty, so to see him actually do it
Yeah.
is kind of a big deal.
Yep. NPC character development. I get to play too. So, what? Yeah, let's just stick with Bickford for a minute. You're sitting there in the morning with that image in your head.
Yeah.
The diaspora continues, but there's been a tiny effect so far.
Sorry, what was that?
I was saying the diaspora is still in effect, but there's been a tiny effect on it. 2 of them are returning back home. Will it be safe when they get there? That's up to you and Steve.
Yeah. And that's kind of where his head is at.
Yep. Fair enough.
He's strategizing. It's like
Yeah.
he knows he's not tough enough to take on this lich. If the dragon and what was going on with Harshnag is any indication, this is big.
This is huge. Yes.
And he's worried at this point that we're just being distracted again.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we've got bigger fish to fry. And he's we have to get back to Morgar's Mound.
Bickford says this out loud.
Yeah.
What, if anything, is the response?
The second time now.
Yeah, this is yeah.
Because he
Yep. when
What
they
in
came
the
in.
holy hay are you waking us up so early for? Just go back to sleep. Goodness me.
Fine.
The fastest way, as has been pointed out, paddling upstream is an extremely slow and tiring process. The fastest way would be to land the boat and walk back along the river, around the corner, and into the hills.
Or
Fine.
even through the tree.
Yeah, through the trees, yeah, if you want. If you can go through the Neverwinter Woods, yes. All right, so it sounds like Zulthus has agreed.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Zulthus is agreeing. He hasn't finished though.
Oh, okay. Go, Zulthus, let's go. Yeah.
Fine. I need to stop in this town, this sea of thieves, this place of whatever. I need gear. I am not strong enough to keep everyone together, and I'm not strong enough to keep you all safe. That is all I want. And if fixing the ordning will really make you all safer and happier, then I will do it. But honestly, I'd rather see this world burned to the ground. No world that does this and points at Iticus. Kind of, not points, gestures at Iticus. To kind and wonderful creatures and beings does not deserve to be a world anymore. But if you need this to save the people you need and to help the people you need, then fine. But I'm not strong enough.
You're suggesting we go to Luskin first and then to Morgar's Mound?
Yes. We all have back pay or some form of currency and something. I need some stuff. I don't use weapons and I don't use armor. I need something in between that will let me very easily rip through things. And I'm beginning to run a little low on medical supplies. That I wasn't going to bring up, and I need to.
Bickford lets Zulthus kind of unload.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, all right, fine. I can talk to some people in Luskin to help us get on task too. Maybe get some
Either way.
horses.
Great. That'll cut our time down by half, because I do not want to walk back up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. There are horses, there are carts, all kinds of goodies. And yes, those of
Let's
you
get
that
a
played
cart.
with me before
The
is,
horse will not like me.
how much money do you have? Enough is the correct answer. Enough to move the story along, not enough for Strahd's fancy coach and black fire-breathing horses. You do not have that kind. But, so, we've heard three opinions so far. We have to, a grudging yes, I would just want to sleep. Iticus, do you have anything to add to the conversation?
throughout it, he's kind of listening to them. And then the minute Zulthus points at him, he gets very uncomfortable. And they'll see him, like, again, kind of go back into himself. He puts his hood back up and kind of finds a place that he's, like, able to just be alone, because he does not. There was something in there that kind of hit for Idicus, and he didn't. Yeah, no.
So, Idicus, what do you think now that the mission has changed?
He's happier about it.
It doesn't appear that you're going to Waterdeep.
Yeah.
I think
So
I think everybody's kind of happy about that in their own way, but I specifically wanted to know about Idicus.
Yeah, he's ecstatic that we're not going to go to Waterdeep now. But at the same time, he's just like, we need to get to Morgor's Mound faster.
Yeah.
That's his kind of where it's at.
Wow.
And he doesn't know enough about it, so.
He's processing and logicking and making coherent thoughts. There is growth everywhere. I love this game.
Wow.
And as you drift a little closer and a little closer to Luskan, you see this alternating fireballs and lightning bolts and other spells being cast from what turns out to be a tower with a bunch of protrusions at the top. From certain angles, it looks like a hand. From other angles, it looks like a claw.
There's one that's just double deuce.
Yeah. From a certain angle, that's what you see. Yeah. There's every possibility. It seems like it's not possible. Like, it breaks the laws of physics in many ways. It is clearly a building of highly magical content and construction. From the lower floors, as you get closer and closer, and you can see more and more of it, you can see smaller, less powerful versions of the same spells arcing out and arcing out and arcing out. You still can't see yet what it's shooting, but it doesn't look like it's shooting down into the city. It looks like it's shooting out over the ocean. When you finally crest the hill, I guess you can't really crest a hill. You come out of a cutting. There you go. You can't crest a hill in a river. Rivers don't go like that. You come out of a cutting, and you see before you finally Luskan itself. It is a walled city, but every square inch of that wall is covered in graffiti. There's so much you can't read it. There's some rude images. There's flags. There's 2 or 3 dozen different flags flying in Luskan. Little sections, like 5 or 6 of them over here, 10 or 12 of them over there, 4 or 5 of them over here. It looks like the city's been partitioned off. It looks, if any of you have been there before, it looks nothing like it did then.
I was here 2 years ago.
It's half burned down. The harbor's all plugged up with half-sunk ships. There's a floating mass of empty bottles that's just sort of drifting around the harbor. It is a mess. It is a party. It looks like there's been a rave going on for 18 months, which is basically what's been happening. A rave with a fight for 18 months.
So a rave.
Yes. And beyond that, out in the harbor, you see a huge boat, steam-driven, metal-clad on the top on both sides, long, like too long, hundreds of feet long. The cannons that stick out of the side are bigger than you could reach your arms across. This is a vessel made by giants. And as you look, one of those cannon, some of you may have heard of before at least, releases a rumble that rivals the noise the 2 fighting in the mountains are making for sound. It is quite possibly the loudest thing any of you have ever heard. And that cannon doesn't fire a cannonball like you've seen before, or a cannon stone. It fires a red-hot ball of flame that scorches into Luskan right at the tower. And just before it gets to the tower, it bounces off like a ball bouncing off an invisible wall and hits the town itself. And a huge section of the town bursts into flames. You see people running from the scene. Another one hits the tower and just splats, and then just slides down this invisible wall and stops on the ground, boiling away. There's clearly a battle going on. between a giant steam-powered frost giant ship and a tower full of wizards against a backdrop of a city of pirates.
We picked a really bad day to come to Luskin.
Is there a good day to come to Luskin?
Taco Tuesday.
That's next week.
As you say that, you see the place that offers Taco Tuesday explode in a ball of fire.
Aww.
There's no good reason to. You can see there are
maybe they might
sections of
do a
Luskin.
Nice fish and chips Friday, but I don't know if they do that.
There's no way that place will last for another 3 days, not at this rate. But with that, you see this battle going on. There are sections of Luskin that look like they're still habitable and moderately functional. It's still a pirate city. It's only the area right around the tower that's getting hammered. So it looks like you could probably still go and get your stuff. And then get
Well,
out.
with any luck, the places that are magic are magic enough that they don't burn down. So
Well, the Magic Tower is certainly winning this battle. It is not getting touched by anything that they're casting. But I think it's only 7:30, but I know at least 2 of us are tired and or sick. So let's take this moment, just because the next scene is you guys entering Luskin. So let's start with that next week. Let's drop the curtain on tonight. Let everybody get some rest and recoup. The nice thing with these long campaigns is we're not in any rush. So be all fresh and ready to go as you enter.
Even if the plot is.
The plot is gone. The plot is miles away.
apparently we've come
I said I would
back to
mention
it.
it. The boat in the harbor attacking the city is brushing against the plot. So there's twice we brushed against it tonight. Once right at the start and once right at the end. So
I thought we brushed against it when Breakford said we have to go back.
oh no, that you embraced it. You hugged the plot with great vim and vigor in that moment. But that
I
wasn't
think
me.
you're right. It's not it's not brushing past the plot if you
No.
get stabbed with it.
Yes, exactly. Yes. But with that, let's call an end to this evening with all the thank yous. As always, Bison, thank you for bringing Brickford and letting me abuse him emotionally. I really enjoyed that. I was very glad to see that you got that this all hangs on you and Steve. So thank you very much for bringing this character that I can do that to. I appreciate it very much.
I love being a walking plot hook. It's awesome.
And I appreciate it more than you can imagine.
Fun.
But, yeah. Speaking of walking plot hooks, Scarred Adventurer.
Oh, end with me.
okay.
I've
All right.
got a thing. I promised the audience something.
Oh, you did. You're right. You were going to sing again. Okay, we'll end on that then. In that case, playing Beowulf for us, the straight up, no holds barred, no fuss and bother adult in the family again still. Thank you so much, Solar, for bringing this character to us. I appreciate it very much, especially knowing that you're ill. We'll get you out of here and get you off to resting in just a few minutes. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are very welcome. And the next is our Idicus playing Maniac. I love it. Idicus makes my week every week. I play a lot of games and they're all so much fun, but I never know what's going to happen when I say, Idicus, what do you do? And that just makes me so happy on many levels. So thank you so
I don't
much.
either most of the
Well, that's the
time.
best part, because I look at you and you go, I don't know. And then I see you go, just let him out. And then you open your mouth and Idicus comes out to play, and it just makes my day. So thank you so much for that. Oh, chat, thank you for the donations. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the jokes. Thank you for the comments. I say this all the time, but I can't believe with everything that there is to do in the world, you come here and do this with us. So thank you so much for that. And the YouTube people as well. You've watched all the way to here. Please hit the like button. And as I talked about at the start of the show, my record with posting stuff to YouTube is spotty at best. So some of it's going up this evening and some of it's later. But if you hit that little bell, you will be notified when I remember to do part of my job. Other than that, thank you all for everything. I'm smiling, I'm grinning, I'm already waiting for next week. It's 4 more days before I get to play again, and I'm sad. So, with that, as always, until next time, we have to go to Jacob
yes.
first. Yes. Sorry, Scarred. Yes, go.
Yeah, so
almost cut you off there. Sorry.
yeah,
Hey, Shanty.
yeah, I promised. So I'm
Yes.
going to do the Wellerman like I started before. Just, we'll do it again. There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was the Billy of Tea. The winds blew up her bow, dipped down. Oh, blow, my bully boys, blow. Huh. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She'd not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Before the boat had hit the water, the whale's tail came up and caught her. All hands to the side, harpooned and caught her when she dived down low. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. The line was cut, no whale was freed. The captain's mind was not of greed, for he belonged to the whaleman's creed. He took that ship in tow. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. For 40 days or even more, the line went slack and tight once more. The Weller, all boats were lost, there were only 4, but still that whale did go. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on, the line's not cut, the whale's not gone. The Wellerman makes his regular call to encourage the captain, crew, and all. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Thank you. Have inspiration. I mean, what can I say? Have a reroll for next week. Thank you.
That's awesome.
That was amazing. Yeah, if you are also a functional sailor, you will be the last person I throw off my boat when we're starving.
I know basic stuff, but that's about it.
But with that, I will follow with, until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Right.
Night.
Night.